Hi, my name is Scott Parnell. I'm with Samson Sports. I'm going to show you how we install this tower. Generally, a boat owner will take a little longer than a shop. Usually does at least as nice a job because they're going to measure 10 times before they drill the first hole. But it's not something that should intimidate anybody. If you can read and follow the directions that come with it, it'll come with all the mounting hardware and detailed instructions on how to put the tower on. Okay, the average tower weighs, an edge tower weighs about 100 pounds. When the tower is shipped, it'll come with these rubber feet. This allows the customer to put it on top of the boat, move it all around without drilling any holes. They can place it where it's going to go, and they don't have to worry about making a mistake. On the edge tower, this lower part is designed to match the window frame, and we want to match the slope of the windshield. So now you can kind of see that with this mounted here, we've matched this angle, matched that angle. If you're sitting inside the boat looking out, you won't have a piece of tubing blocking your vision like you do on many other towers. Also, it just makes it look like the tower is part of the boat because it's obviously made for this boat. So once we got this into place, with a T-handled Allen wrench, we want this curve or this angle here to match the angle of the boat. After we do that, we'll check our height one more time. With the dry erase marker, I just trace around there. He'll do the same on the other side. So we've got our front hole positioned already. Now we're just going to prepare that hole for drilling. So this will come in the kit. All this for is a template for you to put around your hole. You just center that on the dry erase mark that you've made. Just like that. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Before we drill any holes, we're going to check all four corners. Some people think, well, we'll drill the first hole and then check the back. Maybe there's some obstruction here where you couldn't drill that hole, but by checking this, we're kind of locked into the back. So he's going to check all four locations before we drill any holes. If we needed to, we might move the tower forward an inch or back an inch. And he's going to check them all right now before I drill any holes. Normally, you would just put your drill bit in the center of that hole. This is where you can get some chipping if you're not careful. So as a rule of thumb, the way to avoid that is to run the drill in reverse. So if you'll notice how we've centered that hole, it will drill, but it won't try to grab the gel coat and make it flake off. Once you're through the gel coat, you can put it in forward. It's just as easy to drill the whole thing in reverse. Like that. This is one of the most important things to keep gel coat cracks from happening. This is called a grinding ball that comes with every tower. So in the hardware kit, you would get this and the appropriate curved hardware. So this you just put in your drill. About like that. So what we've done is just chamfer that hole so that none of the load is transferred to the gel coat, it's all transferred to the fiberglass. One of the things that we do differently that will make sure that we're not going to get cracks later, it's very important to match this shape to the hardware. So on a universal tower where one size fits all, you get some kind of flat hardware because they never know what kind of boat it's going on. So since this is curved, you can see how that would rock back and forth. Even if we put a thick gasket in there like some tower companies do, you're still just putting the pressure on this high spot. Well, what that does eventually is when you tighten this down, it forces the glass to conform to this shape, which puts a lot of stress on it. The correct way would be to match the shape to these. So for instance, there's one with a pretty steep curve. That's much steeper than what this. So this is too steep for that. You can see how it would rock around. But with each tower, we will have documented before we ever sent it to you, okay, it's this brand of boat, it needs this hardware, and many times that curve would be different from here to the other side. So you may get 4 different curved mounting pieces to put on your boat, but when you get it, you know that it's going to match that boat. So this is what we would call an 80 thousandths washer, which is our way of cataloging what radius this boat is. So you can see when I put it on there, I'll rotate it till it doesn't rock back and forth anymore. So you can kind of see how this fits perfectly to match this shape of the fiberglass. So when we put our backing plates on the inside, that we're not putting stress by trying to flatten this out. It's staying its natural shape. There's a rubber gasket. The purpose of this gasket is not really to take up the shape. We've done that with this. The purpose of the gasket is just to keep it from scratching and keeping it watertight. So what I would do on this, we want to make sure that this doesn't spin as we're putting it on. So I'm going to fit this to where it matches nicely and not rocking back and forth. And then with the Sharpie, I make a mark there and a mark there. You can use a dry erase marker also. This is just a reference mark so that after we put this on, we know that this thing doesn't rotate and not fit the shape of the boat. So I've got this marked, now we're ready to install the mounting foot.